Hi students, let's look at this question which was taken from the year 2023 paper 1 question 11. So this question is on APGP, I believe. So Wei is saving for a property that she intends to buy in the future. Wei needs to save a minimum of 50k, 50,000, right? And she saves regularly in an account which offers no interest. She makes an initial deposit of 31 on 31st January of 2021 at $8, right? Each subsequent month. She deposits $50 more than the compared to the previous month. So her final deposit is made on 31st of December 2023. Find to the nearest cent the smallest value of A so that she saves at least 50k. I think this is the first one is you have to know that because you keep adding 50, it's actually a arithmetic progression, right? So it's an AP. I would say that usually students you have to be very careful with counting the number of months that is involved. Okay, so I'll just try and draw a diagram out and try and conceptualize what's going on. So what we know is this is 31st Jan 2021, then $8, then she added 50. This would be A plus 50, right? This is 31st Feb 2021. So you might have to understand that this is N1 and 2. So at N12, it will be 31st, Jan is the 1st Feb. There will be December, right? 2021. Then we know that somehow it will just keep adding 50. Yeah? So I'm not sure to what is it, but it's okay. We don't need to know. Or if you can just write A is A plus 11 times 50, but it's okay. Generally what I'll say is 31st December. This is what is this? 31st December 2023. Okay, so if it's 31st December 2022, okay, 2022, that will be N equals to 13 and then 24, right? Then 31st December 2023 will be N equals to 36. Okay, so that's the important part. So essentially it's actually an AP, right? So we need S36 because the last month being deposited is the 36th month. Okay, so you find the to the nearest, the smallest value of A, so such that she save at least 50,000. Okay, so the inequality here is 50,000. You need it to be 50,000. Okay, so not an issue. If you use the formula for AP, it will be N divided by 2. First term plus 2A plus N minus 1D. Okay, then this will be 50,000 over here. Just understand. N is equals to 36. A equals to A is A lah, because there's A. Then D is 50. So this is just a linear inequality. We just substitute N is 36. Okay, then 36 minus 1 is 35. Then D is 50. Then just solve this linear inequality. We should get our A as for answer. So they want the A, the nearest cent. I got 513.89. Okay, great. So let's look at part B. Part B looks like a compound interest question, so it will involve some form of GP. Usually what I'll say is I'll tell students to draw up the diagram, a table format, so that you can better recognize. In order to do these questions well, this type of question well, you really need to better recognize. Okay? Any time APGP questions, you have to be able to better recognize. So we look at the first one. Wei has arranged to purchase property on 1st January of 2024 with the aid of a loan of 400k. In terms of the loan, the interest, in terms of the loan, the interest 0.1% is added on the amount owing at the start of every month. With the first interest added on the 1st of January 2024, Wei makes a monthly repayment of X at the end of every month with the first repayment of 31st Jan 2024. Okay, show this. Okay, I think the first thing is to just draw the diagram out, the table form. Then we need to trace down what where is the where the money goes. Okay, so there's a start of the month and end of the month, where at the start the interest was charged, then at the end she made a repayment. So she made a loan here, 400k. Then we were told that the interest was charged 0.1 for the first month, for the added 1st January 2024. So here you just charge the interest. So remember, your interest you need to include the principal, right? Because essentially you need to take 404,000. The principal you need to pay. So 100% plus 0.1%. Okay, this would then be, when you multiply this, adding the interest will be 1.01%, 1.01. Okay, just multiply 1.01, and essentially you look at this one, 1.001. Okay, usually the one that they ask you to show, right, you can see very clearly is this guy here. So that's why this is multiplied by 1.001. You add the interest. Then after which you're told that he paid, okay, he paid an installment or a repayment of X. So essentially this will be minus X. So the amount owed initially will charge with interest. Then he minus off X. Same thing, go down. You go to the next month, you just multiply by 1.001. Okay, so this will be February 2024. So when you apply the interest, remember when you multiply this guy, okay, some students will just apply to the front. Remember, you need to distribute to the last guy as well. So if I were to take 1.001 multiplied by this entire thing, this will be 400,000, 1.001 square. Okay, maybe this is 1.001 square minus of 1.001x. Okay, that's one. Then also remember, then the question is, how come, some students will ask, how come you need to multiply to the repayment here? So this goes to what we usually say, if you want to because the amount you pay back the loan would also compound. So the faster you repay your loan, the more repayment you make, the faster you repay your loan. Okay, so the compound don't just add to the amount you owe, you also add to the amount you have paid. So then you move on to the next part, which is minus of X, right? So you just keep going through this motion here, then you try and pattern recognize. So you minus off X, you get this. So usually a rule of thumb is you just try and expand the intermediate step until you can see the pattern. This case here, I'm just going to write this down, then I'll write this down, because what we need to do is to show that we need to pattern recognize at the end of n months. Okay, so this is the guy that we need to pattern recognize. So I'm going to just multiply 1.001, then minus off X, then that's it. Then once you're done, if you can write the subsequent step without the intermediate step, means you can pattern recognize. So in this case, I could see very clearly, this guy here is just, the subsequent will be 400,000 to the power 4, 1.001 to the power 4, minus 1.001 cube. Okay, X, minus 1.001 square X, minus 1.001 X minus X. Okay, so there's that. So once this is done, just understand that you need to be able to pattern recognize what's going on. You need the pattern of at the end of n month. So a lot of students forget about this. When you want to pattern recognize, the number one most important thing is to put a running number. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. And after which, the second thing I usually tell my students that there are two parts to this kind of pattern recognition usually. The first part is just a normal secondary school pattern recognition. Then the last part will be the sum of GP. So the sum of GP will be somewhere behind here, right? This guy here. Okay, this guy. Okay. Now this sum here, what I will suggest is just factorize the negative out. So watch me out. This negative, I just sum this up. I'm just gonna factorize the negative out. Okay. Factorize the negative out. Then this guy, I'll factorize it out as well. Then factorize this out. Okay. You go. Then that's okay. Now look carefully. I think at the end of n month, if you look at this pattern here. Okay, so when this is 1, this is power 1. When this is 2, this is power 2. This is 3, this is power 3. This is 4, this is power 4. So obviously when it's n, you know to be 400,000, 1.001 to the power of n at the end of n month. Because you want the end of n month, right? Then for this guy here, you look carefully. This is a GP, right? This is GP. This GP, the first term, the purple bracket, right? The GP first term is x. Then the R will be 1.001. The first term starts from behind instead of the front. Okay, so if you look carefully, the first term here, I will multiply by 1.001 here, multiply by 1.001 here. Okay, same thing, multiply by 1.001 here, and so on. So this case here, if you look carefully, this will be sum of, how many terms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sum of 4 terms, sum of 3 terms, sum of 2 terms, sum of 1 terms. Okay, then it's very straightforward, because when this is 1, so look carefully, this is 1, okay, you would have minus S1, 2, you have minus S2, 3, you have minus S3, 4, you have minus S4. So this is very straightforward, this is minus Sn. Okay, so that's how you pattern recognize. of course, there are harder type of questions that you'll see, but usually what I will tell my students is just go to the question bank that we have, right, and just go and find some similar questions to practice. So key in calculator, this will be this is my 1.001 divide. So key in calculator, it'll be 1,000. There you go, shown. So for part C, suppose that you repay in 360-month repayment, right? Find the value of the monthly repayment in the nearest. I think this is just a solving question. So you take n is 360, then this you just equate it to 0. Okay. Even if you, because it's the amount you owe at the end of n months, and then if you just solve this as a linear equation. So if you can't do part B, you still can do C. Just use the result in B to do. Okay. So please, in the exam, if you can't solve certain questions, just use the result given to you. It is meant to help you, these 2 marks here. I think the best way is to just put this less than 0, because there's a chance where basically you may minus off the loan more than is supposed to be. Like basically the bank owes you money, but it's not exactly that. So when we solve this, we are supposed to be able to get the repayment X to the nearest cent. Okay, there you go. You just write this. So the nearest cent, that's why you round out, because it's an inequality here. So they ask you to use the answer in part C to calculate the interest paid. This is only 1 mark. Understand that the purchase price is property is 400k. So what you need is actually taking all this amount that you have, multiply by 360 months, right? That's the amount you have already paid. Then you minus off the original amount. All right, so I'll just write this down. So the total amount paid for a straight 360 months, we multiply by is 1323.64. Original price is 400k. Okay, so this is the total interest paid. So the part D here. So we firstly need to understand what's the difference between part C and D. So for D, right, suppose that Wei decides to repay a loan at this fixed rate, 1,600. Previously, we calculated the X, which just nice on the dot last month will be a balance of 0. But now, if say Wei just decides to pay 1,600 for the loan every month, it doesn't mean the last month would not be exactly 0. You see, there will be some, it will be probably something, which is like, they say last month will be less than 1,600. So this case here is better to use GC actually to see. This is the amount that you have, right? This one over here. So the K month we need to find. I think okay, just use GC, no issue. So take 4. So now basically this is our X. I just let the amount owes at K months, at the end of K months, be AK. So this is the amount that I'm looking at. I think the next thing is to just key in calculator, use GC and just use stable values to find out what's the value of K and the last month's installment. So what we're gonna do is just ping out GC, just key this in. Okay, 400k. Make sure you have the correct 1.001 to the power of k, which is x, right? Okay, then minus of 1,000, then 1,600. Then this will be 1.001 to the power of k minus 1. Okay, that's it. Once done, you just go to the calculator here. Then you see this table value here, just second table, you get the value. Now, obviously, you don't want to scroll until that kingdom come and that will. Okay, so you don't want to scroll until like the end of the world. So what you do is just press plus 1,000. Okay, then press enter. So oh, sorry, no, you just press plus 10 would do. I think. Sorry, 1,000 is too much. So we 10 years months. So you just scroll down. Then you know that the 0 will happen between these two regions here. Okay. Then I'm going to press back 1, increment by 1. So you press plus, you just increase by the increment there. So initially, I don't want to slowly scroll 1 by 1. I just press plus, right? So the increment will just increase by 10. So now with this value, I could just write these values down. So these are the values that we get. These 3 values. Just copy these 3 values. So from here, you copy the values. This would be your last month here. This is your K. Okay. Because that is the amount of K months you will pay for 1,600. Now, the K months is this, right? K is 287. But to get your Y, what we need is just take this last month here. And because it's, imagine if we go down the list here, there's a 12917, so 1320.22, right? Then we just need to multiply by the interest, because the bank will charge interest, then you pay to the amount, right? So y will be 1.320.22 multiplied by 1.001. Okay, there's that. Then just do that. So that will be great. Okay, that's about it. So we look at the part 2, hence find the total savings made by D1 rather than the paper or C2. What I'll do is I'll just multiply the amount paid for C2 is this amount, 360. You just keep paying this amount, right? Then for the next one, I'll just multiply by this K by 1,600 and then add the last month payment. Okay, so that's that. So just compare the total amount paid. Total amount paid. So I think the total amount paid C1 is quite straightforward. Is this one. I just copy this down. So then the total savings will be the total amount paid for C1, which is 360 months by 1323.64. Then for the part D, what they call it, D part 1, what we do is we take 287 months, a full 1,600. Then the last month will be this amount, which is our Y. We were told to live in four significant figures. Okay, so that's how I do this question here proficiently, and I'll see you in the next question.